Welcome to the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on FS1. Here's what this podcast is all about. It's an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the day's show, and there is a lot to get into in today's podcast. Skip suggests last night's Cowboys win shows the difference between Dak Prescott and Tony Romo. Shannon predicts LeBron will call a team meeting for the lack of effort by the Cavs. The guys have a heated discussion over the war of words between Richard Sherman and Cam Newton. Plus, former NFL GM Michael Lombardi is here to talk the Rob Gronkowski injury and what defines a Tuesday player. Finally, FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard is here to say why the loss last night for Golden State will be a helpful thing. Anything you want to say today, Skip? Floor is yours.
Just another quiet night in my household.
Yeah.
Now, how are you, Joy?
I'm great, Skip.
I just have one little question to ask. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah.
They did it. How about them? They did it again.
Did you see that Cowboy?
You believe in that?
Did you see that Cowboy T-shirt up under the ref's uniform?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
I did not.
A lot of fans
I
saw
saw
it.
the Vikings T-shirt up under that uniform.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
There's a lot
let's
going
talk
on last
about
night.
it. How about it?
Let's
Yeah.
do that. Start with that controversial win by the Cowboys. Dallas held on last night to beat the Vikings 17-15. Sam Bradford's touchdown pass was under 30 seconds left to cut the Cowboys' lead to 2, but the Vikings couldn't convert the 2-point conversion to tie the game. On the play, Cowboys defensive tackle Cedric Thornton appeared to hit Bradford in the face mask, but no flag was thrown. After the game, the Vikings reacted to the no call. Let's take a listen.
He told me that I did not get hit in the face mask. So,
Are you fairly certain you got hit in the face mask?
I mean, I saw the replay, but I'd probably have to look at it a little bit closer. I mean, I just caught a glimpse of it, but...
I'm just going to say it right now, man. I'm sick and tired of reffing in this league right now. I'm sick and tired of it. I mean, you got holding calls all over the place that people don't want to call. Bradford gets hit in the face at the end of the game and you don't call it. I mean, I'm not laying this loss on reffing, but, I mean, at some point, it's got to get better. I'm probably going to get fined for this. I understand that, but somebody's got to step up and say something.
Sam Bradford was so nice about that.
He was. He's a nice guy.
Did the refs cost the Vikings the game, Skip?
No, they did not. Well, I'm talking now. This is my stage. It's my day.
I'm going to let you have it, Skip.
Yeah?
But Joy Taylor must be an official. She must know the official. The video appeared to show that Sam Bradford got hit in the face.
Well, she's objective.
I just have to
be.
present
Go
the
ahead,
video.
Partial observer on
sit
the
back.
show. She's actually the moderator, and she has to keep people in line, such as the person
Just like
sitting
presidential
across from
debates,
me.
I have no agenda
Right?
here.
So would you please ask that question again before I got so rudely interrupted?
Did the refs cost the Vikings?
No, they did not. The refs, this crew, did embarrass itself and its National Football League again on national TV, but what else is new? But the refs actually missed obvious calls on both teams on the play of the game, the 2-point conversion attempt that could have forced overtime. And the first missed call was actually on Minnesota's left tackle. I don't know if we have this video or not, but could we see what happened to T.J. Clemmings? He moves like almost a second before the snap. It is the most obvious false start you could ever see, and it went uncalled. Should have been immediate flag thrown. He moved a half
And you
second.
know they had the video because you requested it.
Well, I saw it last night, and you just can't let that happen on the play of the game. T.J. Clemmings obviously was having a long, hard night, and he moved early. It's just an obvious false start, and you have to call it. Then, of course, a Cowboy pass rush on the rest of the play. Cedric Thornton actually blew through untouched up the middle, and he hurried the throw by Sam Bradford, which sailed out of the end zone, but clearly he went hands to face mask, and you cannot do it. It's an obvious foul, but what should have happened was offsetting penalties. You put the ball right back on the 2-yard line, and you play it again, Sam, as in Sam Bradford, and you do it again. And you know what would happen? I believe that my Cowboys defense would have made another play because I would not trust Sam Bradford to get that play into the end zone for the 2-point tying conversion. You don't trust him. I don't trust him. I trust my defense more than I trust Sam Bradford, who was occasionally Bradford last night. And I still believe the outcome would have been exactly the same. Your stage now.
But at least, you know what, Skip, I've said this on several occasions. All turnovers are not created equal. When you turn the football over and where you turn the football over at weighs heavily. To all my NASCAR viewers out there, a guy that has a flat tire on the lead lap of a 500-lap race on lap 100 is not the same as a guy having a flat tire on the lead lap of 499. We can agree with that. Are we? Am I correct?
I think I know where you're going.
You don't follow NASCAR. I was a big NASCAR
Thank you.
fan.
I don't.
But here's the things. They at least deserved an opportunity
Okay. Play it again.
to try to get
I'm
the
fine.
two-point conversion.
Yep.
I mean, you had the utmost confidence in your defense. Did you have confidence in them when they drove down the field and got the touchdown? You were nervous last night, weren't
Yeah,
you, Skip?
but again,
Were
that
you
team-
nervous?
I told you I was nervous before the game against that defense because that Minnesota defense is legit. And I told Michael Lombardi it's going to be the best defense my team has faced. He said, no, Baltimore. That was the best defense the Dallas will face all year last night.
You were nervous last night, like a long-tailed cat.
I'm
on a
always
porch full of
nervous.
rocking
I
chairs.
tweeted that this is going to get scary crazy at the end of the game because it was going to. And my defense, we lost time of possession so badly last night. They were on the field too long.
Had that been Tom Brady, there'd have been so many flags on the field they'd have had to call a laundry truck to come pick up all the flags. And when the guy ran out of flags, he'd have pulled off them Fruit of the Looms and threw them on the field. Let everybody know.
Had that been Tom Brady, 17 flags would have flown on the left tackle when he false started.
Stop it.
You know it,
Skip,
and I know
stop
it.
now.
Wait, we're talking about the same Tom Brady the league tried to frame and railroad and deflate gate? That guy?
They don't
Really?
frame and railroad him
Whoa.
when he's on the field.
Oh, okay.
Because if
I got
a guy look at his knee, they throw the flag. We got unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 55 was staring at Tom Brady's knee. The one he had surgery on, he's ejected.
Okay,
you know
fine.
how they do it, Skip.
All right, but even if you miss the false start and you only throw the flag on hands to the face, so you move the ball to the 1 yard line and you play it again, Sam.
Okay,
You're going to
then.
get it in the end zone? Fine. Try, because you're not going to get it in the end zone. My defense would have made that play.
So I love how you say.
I love how you sat there yesterday and you ridiculed Sam Brett. You kept pointing to number 8, right?
I don't know if Joy can see that in the monitor because it's behind her, but it appeared, the video appears to show me that the guy got his head. So when Sam Bradford's head went down, what did he?
It's obvious. It's an obvious miscall.
Can I finish?
It's obvious.
I'll let you talk.
But it's so obvious. You're wasting your breath on me. I got you.
No.
You're right.
So
you don't have to say it anymore.
What did the ref think Sam Bradford when his head went down?
I don't know.
He was looking for a contact. He was agreeing with the Cowboy defender that hit him in his head bowed down. Oh, he agreeing?
Okay.
So all I'm saying is they deserve the chance to tie the game up.
All right. So if we're going to ridicule the referees here, how about the play that cost my Cowboys the ability to turn this game into maybe a rout? How about the play on Scandrick? Do you remember this one after Cowboys went up 7-3? Yeah. Do you remember Anthony Hitchens intercepts the ball? Do we have this? And that was called hands to the face by Scandrick. He put his hand on his neck, and that's hands to the face? Are you kidding me? It's outrageous. That's not hands to the face. That's as ticky-tack as you get. Hitchens is running with Sam Bradford's pass the other direction, and my Cowboys are about to break it open 14-3, which would have felt like 28-3. You know it, and I know it in a game like that.
You saw Scandrick's hand to the side of the man's helmet.
No,
Skip.
no, it's here. It's not to his helmet.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Skip. Yes, it is. Skip.
Stop it.
Look,
You wouldn't have called that. Oh, come on. Did he touch his face mask? No.
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't have to touch his face mask.
It's such a bad call. It's a phantom bogus call. You know it and I know it. It changed the game.
You love to tell it.
All turnovers are not created equal. That was a horrendous call that was not created equal. It changed the game. It kept Minnesota in the game. The rest of the night, it kept them in the game.
You will let me talk now?
Yep. Go ahead.
You love to sit up here and say how objective you are. You saw the hands to the face on Bradford. You saw Scandrick hands to the side of the guy's helmet. So why was this?
Would you have called that? Would you have called that?
It's a penalty, Skip.
It is not. You wouldn't have called it, and if it had been called on you, you would have been outraged. It's silly. That's not the definition of that penalty. It's hands inside the face mask. That's what you're trying to protect the face, not the hand to the neck. It's just stupid.
Referees are not supposed to throw a flag on whether or not the team can convert if they were to throw the flag. They're not supposed to throw a flag whether or not it's ridiculous or not.
You're supposed to use common sense, right?
But it appears to me that for the officials, it's so uncommon. You see it, Skip.
So they had on Minnesota T-shirts under their
No, they had on
uniforms?
Cowboy
Oh,
T-shirts.
it looked like Minnesota to me on that
Dean
play.
Blandino, I bet you Dean Blandino rolled down to Minnesota on the party bus from the Cowboys.
Yeah,
You don't want to talk about that? Tell the truth.
Yeah. Okay, I got you, but you got to convince me that Bradford still gets the ball in the end zone. Even if I give you, forget the false start, the obvious false start on the left tackle. Tell me Sam Bradford gets the ball in the end zone. Or tell me that Minnesota wins in overtime, because I don't think they're going to win in overtime.
We can't do but let me ask you a question. Who do you think has a better defense, the Broncos or the Cowboys?
What does that have to do with our conversation?
Alex Smith got a 2-point conversion on the Broncos.
Yeah, he was crazy hot.
See
well, he was.
You see that?
You know
now
what?
Your defense. Now you saying because he was crazy hot, he got a 2-point conversion on arguably one of the league's best defense.
Alex Smith's pretty good. He's been good for a long time. Sam Bradford has not been good for any amount of time. You know it, and I know it. Who's better, Alex Smith or Sam Bradford? You know, it's Alex Smith. Okay, so
who's better, the Broncos D or the Cowboys D? So if 1,000 pounds to 1,000 pounds, bricks or feathers, which way more? 1,000 pounds of bricks or 1,000 pounds of feathers?
You know what? My Cowboys defense, and I didn't check it this morning, they might have risen up a notch here. They were 5th in scoring defense going into that game. They might be 4th now because they just held another team to only 15 points. They probably went to 4th. They're probably right in there with your Broncos in scoring defense.
Well, I mean, if you're going to get the officials that's going to keep doing stuff like this, they might finish number 1. They might just win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. You know what? They just might. Thank you for bringing that up, because
I doubt it.
Could I just make the point that my Dallas Cowboys are now 11-1 with 10 whole days to get ready for their grudge match, their revenge game at New York Giants? And I'm going to give you this.
I'm taking Eli.
Okay, good. You're on the record already?
On the record.
Thank you. We got it.
I ain't on the record. I'm on the CD.
Okay, all right. You got it. So here's my takeaway from last night. I'm going to call that a beautifully ugly survival against a fired-up team playing for its ailing coach. Obviously, Mike Zimmer was not there last night, playing for its playoff life, obviously, at 6-5, before a crazy loud crowd in their new building. And all I know is that my Dallas Cowboys cannot play any worse on offense. That's credit to Minnesota's defense. It was a nightmarish offensive night. They had season worst in every offensive category. Yep. They were 1 for 9 on 3rd down.
They were.
They had 2 turnovers, which for them is like 15 turnovers.
Correct.
And they lost time of possession, which they have owned because they led the NFL going in time of possession. Yep. And guess what? They won the football game. And guess what? And I don't want to disrespect Tony Romo here, but I got to say this. A Romo Cowboy team would have lost that game. I'm sorry, this is new age, new way. This is Dak Prescott's team, and this team is going to figure out how to win a playoff-style, very physical football team game against a really good defense. That's a top 3 defense that they were up against last night. And I told you, Xavier Rhodes was going to do a number on Dez, and he did. They had a battle the whole game. And Zeke, he wasn't going to get 100 yards against that defense, and he didn't. And they couldn't convert on 3rd down, and they had a hard time protecting Dak. And they won the football game. I'm not sure how, but you know and I know. You bring it up all the time. A Super Bowl run has to be very good with a little luck, right? Very good with a little luck. So last night was the worst game of the year. And my man Michael Irvin has made the case over the last couple of weeks. Dallas needs to lose a game, which I hate to hear, but they needed to lose a game to refocus for a playoff run. To me, that was the equivalent of a loss last night that actually turned into a win. So maybe it served both purposes. You got to 11-1. You increase your ability to win home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And maybe this will refocus you, because I don't think on offense it can get any worse than it got last night. All I know is Dak, more with his legs than his arm, made a couple of big plays, a couple of big scrambles that won the football game. They got a huge turnover on the punt that Thielen couldn't hold on to. I'm not sure they actually forced it. He just fumbled it. And Wilbur sort of took it away from him and came up with it. Okay, you won the game in the little big ways that you had to win it. And I got to tell you, my defense hung on and hung in all night long. And I know it's Sam Bradford for the most part, but that's the kind of game that you're playing extended minutes that you're not used to playing on the field, and you hang on, and finally make the play you have to make to win the game. I'll take it. I'll take 11-1. It wasn't pretty. I'm not proud of it, but I'm really proud of 11-1.
The Cowboys are very beatable, and Minnesota showed people a blueprint of how you can
I figured you'd say that.
how you can defend this football team. They did a great job of mixing coverages. They did a good job of confusing Dak on some plays. They did a very good job for the most part of keeping Dak boxed in. And when they left the gate open, their cattle got out, and Dak got a couple of first downs with his legs. He hit threw a pass on the move. I think the thing is that when you play 8-man box, they had Harrison Smith crowd the line. He attacked Zeke a lot in the backfield, and that was the reason why they were so successful on third down, because it wasn't 3rd and 1 to 3. It was always 3rd and 9, 3rd and 13.
It was 3rd and 13
yes.
a lot.
So and the longer the distance go, but there's not a whole lot of plays in the playbook that's designed to pick up 3rd and 13. And I thought Minnesota did an unbelievable job of disguising. They would have guys, they would mug up in the A gap, put 2 linebackers. They tried to run a screen to Zeke, and Kendricks did a great job of getting out to the flat and defending that. Dez really was the difference in this ball game, because those 2 big plays that he got, they were in quarters coverage. Dez went up like he was going to run the dagger route. Harrison Smith jumped it. He went over the top, first down, and then he had another big play. So Dez is playing unbelievable. Jason Witten probably not too happy this morning. His consecutive game streak of 130 consecutive games with a catch.
You know why? You shamed him so badly yesterday that it hurt his pride, and he lost confidence ahead of last night's game because you said that you could outrun him even now at age 48.
Yeah.
Right?
I could.
You're still sticking with that?
Yeah, I absolutely could.
Well,
but
that was devastating to Jason, I'm sure.
But here's the thing with the Cowboys is that you're going to face every quarterback you play. Once you get into the playoffs, will be better than Sam Bradford. They won't miss the throws that he missed. Now, granted, they might give up a little bit on the defensive side because everybody that you face in the playoffs won't have a defense like Minnesota. But you play Green Bay, Green Bay's offense. Now, I know you beat Green Bay and Lambeau, but their offense is playing a little better. You know Atlanta can hang points on anybody. So look, give the Cowboys credit. They won the game. But I want to know why the official didn't throw a penalty for 12 men on the field. Because the official was on the Dallas Cowboys side on offense.
Please.
So why didn't he throw a flag?
Yeah. Why did he throw a flag on Scandrick?
Because he had his hand up to his helmet. Skip, stop.
Please. Why didn't they throw a flag on the left tackle on the last play, the 2-point conversion? He moved a half second before the snap. It was so blatant.
You don't think that was a false start? Keep it real.
He does.
Well,
it's okay.
Video seems to show that it might have been a false start.
Yes. Thank you.
No, it did not, Skip. Okay, I'm just trying to say they protect the quarterback. They've instituted all these rules for protection of the quarterback. Had Sam Bradford, now you know how Cam Newton feels. Welcome to the club, Cam.
So now you're putting Sam Bradford in the Cam club?
Because Cam can't
you're really reaching today.
Because Cam got only 1 roughing the passer call in the last 2 years. Sam Bradford probably hadn't got any. But that's neither here nor there. It was a blatant hands to the head. They throw that flag. Drew Brees gets that call. Tom Brady, like I said, there'd have been a laundry truck picking up all the flags on the field had that been Tom Brady. You know it, Skip. But you want to sit up there because your team won. You don't want to be truthful. You told me you're objective, but you're really not.
Wait, who won the game last night? I forgot. Oh, Dallas won the game. And I got to ask you a question now.
With help.
How hard is it to win 11 straight National Football League games? How hard?
It's very hard.
It's extremely hard. So last night, my team finally had a bad night. It just did. On offense, it just can't get any worse than that. And Shannon Sharpe is leaping to the conclusion, that's how beatable they are. That's the blueprint for how you beat Dallas.
Yes.
Baloney it is. They just got their bad game out of their system.
Well,
good luck to you from here on.
All I know is that I was on a team that won 13 straight, and I don't ever remember getting a call that was so egregious for the other team that wasn't called. We just beat people.
How many years ago was that?
That's been a while. That's neither here nor there, Joey.
That's a good question. How many years ago was that?
I'm just saying your memory's a little fuzzy because you couldn't remember your 40 time yesterday.
That was 27 years ago.
Okay, so
what were you doing 27 years ago?
I was 2.
Oh, yeah. So what were you doing, Joey Taylor?
I wasn't there. I'm asking you. You should remember.
When you won your 13, did they have face masks then?
They absolutely have. I tell
See,
you,
there weren't even hands in the face because you didn't have face masks.
ask the Cowboys,
Right?
did the Broncos have face masks when we?
Oh.
Yeah, ask them that.
Wait. How about that Orange Crush Super Bowl? Roger Staubach? Who won that game? Remember that against?
Skip, I was 10.
I don't care. It was Dallas versus Denver.
What about when I played against the Cowboys?
I don't know. I don't remember.
We shut them out the last time I played them against the Ravens.
Really?
28-zip.
Oh, can't remember.
Well, the good,
They had
news,
Emmett and Troy.
other than the Cowboys wins, you guys both got your predictions right. You were right about Ezekiel Elliott's yardage at
Thank you.
86, predicted 85. And the best news is Shannon's not a jinx.
You know what?
Isn't that great?
I did. I wanted to tell you. I thought of you all through the game. In fact, when you said how scared I was, I should have remembered. I was scared because you had picked Dallas, and I thought that this is it. Bad night. I also was scared because they had the cleats promotion. I don't want to go into all the details, but he had to wear his
positive. It was very positive.
It was very
message.
positive,
Yeah.
but Dak's wearing very different look. He wore black cleats as opposed to white ones, and it just looked odd to me. And I thought maybe this is all bad. You know, like you picking Dallas, new cleats.
Yep.
Bad look, bad feel.
My college coach used to say, boys, you look nervous like a long-tailed cat on a porch full of rocking chairs. Well, Skip, maybe you weren't that nervous, but I know you was nervous. I was like, come on, Sam. I was cheering for Sam.
Nope, you're not a jinx. It's good news.
So worst case, I would have been 10-2. I think I would have been okay.
No, you wouldn't. No, you don't want to be 10-2 losing to Sam.
I don't know.
No mercy. Rob Gronkowski is scheduled to have back surgery this morning and is expected to miss the remainder of the season. Gronk left Sunday's game against the Jets in the first quarter, and his family issued a statement saying surgery is in his best long-term interest. We're joined once again by Michael Lombardi, who spent the last 2 seasons on the Patriots staff. Can New England win it all without Gronk?
Where are your stats with the Patriots without Gronk? Do you have those?
He's got him.
Just throw them away. Because the reality of it is all these numbers he's been quoting all morning,
Tear those
all
up.
these numbers, they didn't have Bennett. Like these numbers are when they didn't have another tight end. So these are irrelevant. This is false.
I like this.
This is
I
false
like it.
numbers.
Yeah.
Look, losing Gronk is what I call a Tuesday player. A Tuesday player is when you sit in a room on Tuesday and you say to yourself, how do we stop this guy? Tuesday players go right to the Hall of Fame. Okay? He's a Tuesday player. There's nobody they're going to bring on the team that's going to replace Gronk. Gronk's a Tuesday player. He's going to affect Brady more in this way. Brady's inability to know what the coverage is. Brady's inability to know how they're going to match Gronk, how they're going to have to game plan. The defensive coordinators of the opponents are going to have an easier time. They're going to play their scheme. Now, these numbers are irrelevant because Bennett's a really good player. So they have a tight end who can line up on the Y. I don't want to hear your back to me saying, well, they had Hernandez and when they lost Gronk. No, Hernandez was an F. He was never truly a Y on the line. So they needed somebody who could play Y. One of the reasons Bennett was so attractive to trade for was because he's a true Y. Losing Gronk's going to be tough to overcome. There's no doubt.
And explain the difference in those two positions.
Because a Y can line up on the line of scrimmage. An F is just a guy who moves around and moves. So, like, people say, well, it's horrible they lost traded A.J. Derby. A.J. Derby's a nice player, but the question is, would you rather have an F that moves around or would you rather put the third receiver on the team? I think the answer to that question was we'd rather have the third receiver on the team. So instead of being a 12 team, 1 back, 2 tight ends, the Patriots will now be more of an 11 team.
1 tight end, 3 wides.
1 and 3 wides with Bennett as the Y on the line. And I think they'll be effective moving the football. They won't be as dynamic because he is a great player. But they have other guys around him. And I think Chris Hogan's got to step up. Malcolm Mitchell's got to step up. I think James White and Dion Lewis both are going to be on the field now to step up. I think they can overcome it. Do I think they're just, there's somebody here, I won't mention his name, that thinks, well, now they give up the whole AFC, the Raiders win automatically. I'm not talking about you. However, that being said, I think they still have a really good team. You're not going to replace Gronk.
Go ahead, Skip. I'm
going to take your numbers from you.
I want to hear your counter argument. I'm with everything he just said. I told you that to open the show today.
Well, then I want to sync both of you guys at the same time. So go ahead.
Well, I told you what I think. Now, again, I might not be quite as big a Martellus Bennett fan as you seem to be at this point. I'm not as sold. I watched him with my Cowboys as a second-round pick, and he really struggled. He struggled a little bit with the Giants.
Disregard the Cowboys.
Yep.
The Giants and the Bears, he was a...
Well, he with the Bears, he became a force.
Yes.
Thanks to Jay Cutler, but I do think Martellus woke up this morning and it was like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? Because the weight of the New England world is now on his shoulders, and I'm not sure he can bear up under that. So I don't know if I trust him quite as much as you do, but Chris Hogan can play. He can make big plays. And you love Dion Lewis. He's a fire starter. He's a lightning rod. He's an energy maker. You know, he can make plays and brings energy to the offense. And I like James White, I think, a little more than you do. But you still have a complement of weapons they did not have with Malcolm Mitchell's emergence at Denver in that AFC game. So my point, my big picture takeaway is, even though obviously Gronk is a huge loss, and Tom Brady does have a banged up knee, so I'm not sure how much to trust that either. But I think this could be an amazing situation for Tom Brady at 39 to go win a Super Bowl without Gronkowski and to maybe even cement his case he's the greatest quarterback ever. Because if you pull this off at 39 post-Deflategate on a mission to prove Roger Goodell wrong and make him hand you that Super Bowl trophy, this is the perfect scenario for that to unfold. And maybe in the back of Tom's mind, I know he's probably shaking a little bit without Gronk, but I think he has to think, wow, this is a great opportunity for me to pull off my greatest achievement.
And the only thing I'll say before you start, Counselor, is that this offensive line has played way better than any offensive line in the last 2 years. Shaq Mason at right guard, I think, could be a Pro Bowl right guard. He's playing to a highest level. He blocked Wilkerson. He blocked Sheldon Richardson last week, as well as anybody. That's the best they've ever blocked the Jets in 3 years. And so that's another dynamic that I think has to be factored in here. Their offensive line is playing much better than the line played last year in Denver. The floor is yours.
So let me ask you this. All things being equal, you got this offensive line, and you take Gronk away from in the AFC Championship game, and you have Bennett. You think y'all beat the Broncos in Mile High?
I think it'd be challenging. If Gronk was on the bus, I think it'd be hard to beat him in Mile High anyway. I think it's a tough challenge. But I do think that
with Trevor Siemian or Peyton Manning?
No, I'm saying last year, all things being equal.
Look, the Broncos were the better team. They proved that. They beat when you beat somebody twice, you're the better team. Now the problem is most teams don't want to admit it. No, we admitted it. We walked off the field in Denver after the championship game. You say they're the better team. We got to fix the line. We got to be able to run the ball more effectively, which is what they've been able to do this year. Blunt's running it much better. They're a more complete team. Losing Gronk is a problem. Tuesday players you can't replace, okay? However, the game goes on, and you got to find a way. And they're very creative, and I agree with you. I think Brady will find it in himself once he gets healthy. But they have the ability to score 30 against anybody with or without Gronk. They're just different now because they can't be a 12 team.
That fear factor is that when he shows up and you know Gronk is healthy in the Patriots lineup, it changes the whole dynamic.
The whole
you fear this guy.
Sure.
Because okay, everybody goes into a game plan. You know this is what we're gonna do, this is how we're gonna take him. And then all of a sudden, you get out there and you realize, because I was standing I was about 20 feet from him, and I just could not believe how big this man is.
Look at that picture over there. I always called his hands, they look like toilet seats. They're the biggest hands you've ever seen in your life. They look like, and then when he catches the ball, he's a freak. I mean, he's a freak.
He is.
And the one thing you've learned working at the Patriots is you're used to not having Gronk. I mean, let's face it, durability is an issue. Gronk is hard to defend for the officials. He's hard to officiate, and he's hard to do a contract for because Gronk doesn't play a lot. Gronk has this back injury goes back to Arizona, which is why he was a second-round pick.
Right.
Last year at the end of the season when you were upset about the Jet game and the Miami game, Gronk's back was bothering him then. I mean, this back problem goes back longer than, it's
9
been
surgeries, and the guy's only 27.
Right. So he's not been the most durable player. So they're used to not having him. That doesn't make it easier. It just makes it used to not having him.
So what do you think about the school of thought that Belichick may sit back in the offseason and say, I've seen enough. I can't risk it from this point.
Look, before the ink dries on most of Gronk's contracts, he always wants a new contract because he's hard to do a contract for because his numbers are so far above the tight end numbers that they're more receiver numbers. So he always wants a receiver contract. And so when you think about it, and then time flies by, he gets hurt. So it's tough to pay a guy this much money that's not on the field all the durability is also a talent.
Sure.
You've got to be durable.
Yes.
And Gronk, as great as he is, and there's no one better. We're not going to see another tight end in the history of the NFL like Gronk. I mean, he's Mark Bavaro faster. He can block. He can run. I mean, he's really just a unique guy by his size. But he's difficult to be on the field, and that becomes a problem. And when you pay somebody that much money, you want reliability.
So what are the odds he's done as a Patriot?
I think they're zero. I think they're zero. I think he's part of the culture there. He's been voted team captain. I think the stuff that goes on with off the field, the contract, that's always going to be. But Gronk, he likes the program. He has a great relationship with the people. He's really one of the nicest kids you're going to be around. The reality of it is he just can't stay healthy.
I just think this injury has brought the Patriots back to the pack where we thought they were in the lead and it was a foregone conclusion. All of a sudden, they started coming this way and maybe some team. Because I'm telling you, teams heard this, it changes their thought process. Right. Now, absolutely.
But it's a better team this year than it was last year because the line's better, you can run the football more, and they have tight end on the line.
Is your defense better?
Well, the defense is always going to be a problem. I mean, don't get me started on that subject.
We're bringing it all down.
Yeah, offense might be better, but your defense might have taken a step back.
Well, maybe you'd feel better about, well, not better, but it'd be more of a consolation if Bennett was 100%.
Yes.
And you wouldn't worry about it.
And I think, Bennett has inconsistent hands at times, but Bennett can be a magnificent
Sure.
player.
Yeah, huge.
And I think that when he's got it on his game, he's a mismatch player, too. He's just not a Tuesday player.
And he's playing for contract, too.
Well, that's
Yep.
So just for the record, to sum this up, I am still picking the Patriots to win it all. Win it all.
I think that, I think this hurts them, but I don't think it destroys them.
If it gives me, hold up, who I got to choose between the Patriots or the Cowboys?
No, wait.
Come on, Patriots. Come on, Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
So easy.
Brady.
You can't even be happy
Here's your
about
number.
being right
Here's your
last
numbers.
night.
The Patriots without Gronk.
Michael, thank you so much for joining us. And make sure to check out Michael's new podcast, the Make Me Smarter Football Podcast. It'll make you smarter. And he works in some awesome Godfather references also. No mercy. Next up, the Clippers blew out the defending champion Cavs last night by 19 points in Cleveland. The win ended the Clippers' 3-game losing streak, and LeBron was held to 16 points, his lowest total this season. Skip, what did you learn from the game?
First of all, I learned that I did pick the Clippers to win the West, and I picked them to win that game last night.
Yep.
So far, so good. What I saw last night was why I picked the Clippers to win the West. Because when they lock in on a game, which they don't always do, that can happen. They had not locked in on the 3 previous games because I think they had circled this night and this date on Thursday night TNT at Cleveland. And obviously, they had an 18-point lead on Tuesday night at the Nets in Brooklyn. And Doc Rivers was so frustrated with the collapse that he went completely over the edge because I think he's feeling a little pressure knowing that this is the year for them to break through in the West. And we saw Golden State lose at home last night. So it's the door is at least cracked. And Doc and company have the talent and the firepower and now the bench to barge through that door. And I loved what happened last night because, remember, Doc rested Blake Griffin on Tuesday night against Blake's wishes. Not hurt at all. Doc said, nope, you got the night off because he wanted him completely ready for Thursday night. And what did Blake do last night? He tied his career high with 11 assists, and I was impressed because he was sort of the floor general last night. And CP3 had his basic 16 and 9. And, of course, J.J. Redick went crazy in the first half with 21 points, made 4 threes. DeAndre had his usual 15 rebounds, 8 offensive rebounds, which tells you he was attacking the glass in ways that Tristan Thompson was not defending the glass. And Mbah Moute had 5 steals, which is a little unusual because I thought Cleveland was very, very careless with the basketball. Which brings me to the Sports Illustrated Sports Person of the Year. LeBron James, right? Is that what you call him?
LeBron James.
Yeah.
LeBron James.
Yeah, I couldn't find him last night. And you know what? Maybe he mentally checked out, as I sort of half-kiddingly suggested.
Eastern Conference Player of the Month.
Oh, okay. But I think because his favorite NFL team was playing simultaneously, you know what? He was thinking he had Cowboys. I'm trying to give you an excuse here.
I'm in the results business.
Oh, the results? Well, I didn't see any results because it was one of those shockingly lifeless performances from the Kang, as you call him. I don't know where he was. He just wasn't into the game. I saw him miss 5 free throws. I saw him make no 3-point shots. I saw a mere 5 rebounds and 5 assists. I just saw no real passion or effort or energy. He just wasn't into playing this basketball game. I don't know if they're having internal issues with J.R. Smith. That's very possibly going on because that is back-to-back collapses by the defending champion. What did they lose by? Was it 17 at Milwaukee on
108,
Tuesday night?
118 to 101.
Yep. And then by 19, they got blown off their home floor by the Los Angeles Clippers. Not a pretty sight for the King on a night where he's being celebrated as the SI Sports Person of the Year.
Eastern Conference Player
And
of the
Eastern,
Month.
we
Don't
care about
shortchange.
that.
Yeah, we do.
Well,
You don't. We do.
Okay, well, how do we explain what happened to the King last night?
No explanation needed. Give the Clippers credit. They played better. And I was very surprised considering how bad the Cavaliers played on Tuesday. I thought they would bring more energy, more
So did I.
effort to the court on Thursday night. That didn't happen. But if you look at the Clippers, the bench, you got Paul Pierce, who was a Finals MVP. He's a starter. Isn't he the all-time leading scorer in Celtic history? You got Spates, who played big minutes and big spots for the Warriors the past 2 years. Raymond Felton has been a starter in this league his whole career. He's coming off the bench. We know what Jamal Crawford is. He's just the best, maybe arguably the greatest sixth man ever. You have Austin Rivers, the coach's son. They got 46.
And let me say this, and I told Doc this when we saw him back in the summertime. His kid, chip off the old block, he is fearless when he goes into the game.
Yes.
He will take big shots, and he'll make a bunch of them. And he took some last night. I was impressed, Austin Rivers.
Yes. And so when you look at that, and the thing what concerns me is starting to concern me even more is that J.R. Smith, now Lou took him out early. He only played 23 minutes last night, but he only had 3 points. Tristan Thompson. Now, Tristan doesn't normally give us, I mean, if we take anything over 8 to 10 points that we can get, we love that. But he only gave you 3 points and he only gave you 8 rebounds. That's not going to win you very many games. Kevin Love didn't get to the free throw line.
Nope.
LeBron James missed 5 free throws. He also turned the ball over 5 times. So when you got your best player not playing particularly well, Kevin Love not getting to the free throw line, J.R. Smith only giving you 3 points, Tristan Thompson giving you 3 points. The bench of the Cavaliers is not as deep, is not as good as the Clippers. Therein lies the problem. I would be shocked and very surprised if LeBron James does not call a team meeting because remember, it's a short turnaround. They got a back-to-back. They got Chicago tonight. I would be surprised. At Chicago. I would be surprised if LeBron James did not have a team meeting either last night or this morning and says this is unacceptable and this is what I expect of us to play like. We might lose, but the effort that we displayed Tuesday night and Thursday night is unacceptable.
Is he going to make himself part of the league?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
He's not going to go Aaron Rodgers on his team?
No. Okay. He knows he has to play better, and he will play better.
He better.
You see any concern on me?
It's more Pierre.
Yeah, I do.
No.
I see it written all over your face.
You better worry about them 5 and 15 Heat.
I am
worried
worried about
them.
Do you
The Heat had a
FaceTime?
big
Do you
win
FaceTime
last
into the closed door meetings?
No,
LeBron
look,
calls you up.
All
sits you
I
there?
know is LeBron, being the leader that he is, will make sure these types of performances does not happen in the future.
Okay, just my 2 cents from a distance. I don't have any inside
You got
information
one
about
cent.
this.
You done used one of your cents last night with that lucky victory.
No. Wait, we're 11-1.
Shouldn't you be glad about that? You picked the Cowboys.
11. Yeah, you're right. You got it right. Way to go, Shannon. You finally got one right. So, from a distance, I think something's up with JR. Ty Lue said he had a talk with JR after JR clearly did not take the
serious
Milwaukee. Yeah, did not take Milwaukee seriously at all.
Yes.
But it's up to LeBron, now JR's best buddy on the team, to lay down that law and try to get him back in line. And I thought it was interesting last night. I thought JR was trying to prove a point. Remember the early three? He took one, and it was from like 35 feet, and he made it like, I'm going to shoot this whether you like it or not.
Yes.
And then that was the end of that deal for the rest of that night. I think something's going on with J.R. Smith.
He only attempted 3 field goals. Only attempted 3 field goals. Now,
Pouting? I don't know.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it was, like I said, maybe it was the contract. He's like, well, look, I've done everything. Why is this taking so long? Maybe his timing and rhythm, excuse me, for not being in training camp. So now he has to get his legs and everything up under him. But we're 20 games into the season. And there's no reason for him to be playing as bad as he's playing right now. Mike Dunleavy, who was out last night with a concussion, he hasn't played as well as I think Tyronn Lue thought he would play coming off the bench. Like I said, I think Brown will have a discussion with this basketball team, and moving forward, these types of performances would be few and far between. There's no question in my mind.
The first thing LeBron said when he walked into the postgame locker room was, "What's the score?" Right? He wanted to know what the Cowboys score was.
He walked in and said, "Hey, show Skip Bayless this. SI Sportsman of the Year."
Wait, that's the box score from last night. He doesn't want to show me that.
All I'm saying
He wants to show me 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 turnovers?
They've been announcing SI Sportsman of the Year since 1954.
Yeah.
And only 2 people that's ever played sports have ever been on the cover this many times.
Well, you know who should have won it this year?
Tiger
Yeah.
and LeBron James.
It's a nice honor. No mercy. The Rockets went to Oakland last night and beat the Warriors in double overtime, 132-127. The loss snapped the Warriors' 12-game winning streak. James Harden had 29 points, 15 rebounds, and 13 assists for Houston. Kevin Durant had 39 in the loss. And Draymond Green was hit with a flagrant foul for kicking James Harden in the face. Chris Broussard, still with us?
Yes.
This loss a big deal for Golden State.
Not at all. This was great for Golden State. In my opinion, first of all, it's great for the league. Anytime they lose, it's great for the league because it just creates more drama, more intrigue, and it makes us feel like it's not a foregone conclusion that they're going to win the West. So it's great for the league, and it's great for the Warriors. They need this because it tells them it's not going to be easy. They just ran off 12 in a row. Their defense had improved. That was a concern early in the season. 2 weeks ago, they were like 16th in the league in defensive efficiency. Now they're 8th. So during that streak, I mean, their defense was phenomenal. They're blocking shots. So this is the type of game that reminds us, look, we haven't arrived. We have to keep working on the chemistry. We still have a long way to go. I'm sure Steve Kerr and others in the organization think every once in a while we need something like this. So I think it's great for them.
I don't think it's a big deal, but they have problems. And it's not going to be as easy as it was in years past. Because when you bring Durant on, you bring on a legit 27 to 30-point score a night. But what you have to give up to get him is all your bench depth. Bogut has to leave. Azili has to leave. Barbosa has to leave. And you bring on JaVale. Anytime JaVale McGee is an answer, the question is all messed up. Let's start with that premise. David West, he's searching and he's trying to get that elusive championship. He's just a guy now. It's not the same. And I don't care what.
You still have Livingston and Iguodala.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You're having to play Iguodala more than you normally would because Pachulia is giving you. Normally, that small lineup was for the fourth quarter. Iggy played 41 minutes last night.
He did.
42,
actually.
Yeah, Zaza only played 8 minutes. And you consider they went to double overtimes, and that's your starting center. And he played 8 total minutes. But I don't care what anybody say. Curry is not sacrificing. Durant is not sacrificing. This has affected Klay Thompson. He is not the same guy. He is not the same guy. I mean, he's played a little better, but he was 4 for 20.
Well, he has nights like that. And even in the past.
Normally
he's still averaging 20.
But look how many shots he shoots.
He's getting the same. He's getting 1 fewer shot than last year.
But the thing is that you can tell in his body language, it's a whole. Now I was the number 2 guy. I was the guy. I was going to All-Star games, Chris. I was going to be I'm an All-NBA player. He's a forgotten man now because basically it's KD. Okay, KD, you get yours. Okay, Curry, you get yours. Okay, Durant, you get yours again. Okay, Clay, here's your. We're gonna try to keep you happy. That's a lot of touches. I mean, all these guys are volume shooters now.
They're all getting their shots. They're all getting their shots. I think to your point, what's happening is Clay, whereas when he was the second option, he didn't have to force shots.
Right.
Like when I get it up, I'll still move it. Yeah. Now I get it, it's going up.
Yes, because I don't know if I'm going to get it.
Exactly. So I give you that. Yeah. But
and their bench got outscored 49-23. Eric Gordon outscored their entire bench. That's going to be the issue because in years past when they assembled this, when they got good and they won the championship, they would have a lead, say 8 points. When they came back, the lead would be exactly the same, or it would be 14. Now, if they have a lead, they come back, they're either tied or they're down. That's the difference because they get no breathing room because now Curry's having to play a lot of minutes into the fourth quarter, where normally he's off fourth quarter, he's over there drinking, he's laughing and keying with some of the crowd, and he and Draymond and Clay, they're laughing on the sidelines. They're having to play deep into ball games now, whereas before when they had that deep bench, they were on the sideline chilling.
I have a different takeaway from last night. I actually watched both overtimes because I couldn't go to sleep after the Cowboy game.
Oh, man, go to sleep. I went to sleep.
Like I
good. I slept good.
I don't know. You probably did.
No,
you finally got a pick right on this show. You picked the Cowboys.
He can't even enjoy it.
I thought it was a big deal what happened to Kevin Durant in both the overtimes. He became the man. All the go-to shots were taken by Kevin Durant. Now, to me, this team goes as that little man goes, named Steph Curry. He is the force, the driving force on this team. And I think the dynamic is intriguing as Kevin tries to find his place in the pecking order. Last night, his place was at the top of the pecking order when it really mattered. As Joy pointed out, he had 39 points in the game. But in the first overtime, he went 1 for 3, but he took the shot that could have won the game at the end of the first overtime. And it was contested, but what is he, 7 feet tall? I don't know. He looks 7 feet tall when I stand next to him,
close,
right? And he took a jumper from the short corner, from the three-point line, and he airballed it, shot it completely over the rim. And look, in the end, in Oklahoma City, the man, the insiders in that franchise decided that Russ was the man, not KD. As far as the shot, when the shot needed to be made, it was Russell's shot to take and make. So last night in the second overtime, now it's a close game. It's obviously it's deep into the second overtime, still a winnable game. Kevin Durant took 4 shots in the second overtime and made none of them. 0 for 4 in the second overtime. And it's starting to feel like he's becoming the high-volume shooter on the team because over the last 5 games, he's taking more shots than Steph has taken. So it's starting to trend up for Kevin Durant. That's a mistake to me. Steph should take the most shots. I do agree Clay's sort of the third wheel right now, and it's starting to be reflected in his percentage because his percentage is 8 points lower than it was last year at the end of the year. He's gone from 43% down to 35%. And obviously
on threes or over?
I think
you
it's
mean
on,
the last few games?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Not over.
For
On
this
threes,
year
on
versus
threes,
on threes.
on threes.
Yeah.
On
But
threes.
like they go as they shoot from the three-point line. So last night, those 3 combined for 10 for 37 from 3. That's 27%. Well, that's not going to get it done. You're probably going to lose a home game. But my point is, you still got to overtime with Houston making a whole bunch of, because man, they were Ryan Anderson and Eric Gordon were just bombing 3. So to cancel them out and just get to overtime was an achievement last night. And then it was Kevin's game to win or lose, and Kevin did not win it. The man on this team cannot be Kevin Durant. It still has to be Steph's team.
Durant has been their best player this season. When you look
You
at
want
both
him taking those shots.
I mean, look, you're
He's
painting
an MVP
it
too.
Exactly. You're painting it like he's never hit a big shot.
No,
like his last few years in Oklahoma City, it was always Westbrook at the end. It wasn't. They mixed it up. It was both of them, and both of them had their flaws where they didn't get it done.
Okay, Kevin to me is a great complementary player, but he's still He is extremely gifted complementary player.
Complimentary player?
Yes.
That's a role player.
Not
role. What's the difference between a complimentary player and a role player?
You try to make Kevin Durant seem like a pocket square. You forget the Jackson.
Well, that pocket square, that's a plain pocket square.
Ensemble.
This pocket square, but this is the man right here.
First of all, truth be told, Kevin Durant, look, forget the MVPs and all that. Kevin Durant's a better player than Steph Curry.
Why do you think he went there? To blend in with a team that knows how to win. That's what happened.
He went there because he saw the way they played looked fun. And he wasn't having fun playing in Oklahoma City. and he wanted to go there. Obviously, I can win there too.
Right.
But that's what it was about. The way they
I'm just talking
he's
about
still getting his points on fewer shots.
the
than last year.
play, the shot. It better be made by Steph Curry.
No.
You better.
They've got plenty of options. You
Go
talking
look,
about that three he took from the corner?
Time out.
That was
Time
a
out.
tough shot.
Stop it. Go look what happened in that playoff series against Memphis when Russell couldn't play. Remember this? I'm going back 3 years ago.
He took them to the second
Oh,
just
look,
to get to the
look
second
what happened.
round.
Go look at the
was big.
stats.
Okay, what did Westbrook take him when KD was hurt?
He
Exactly.
disappeared.
Where did
He
Westbrook take them when KD was
no,
hurt?
you go look at the stats. It's
the
the
lottery.
worst shooting games that you'll ever see.
And you make it seem like the shot that he missed to get the first it was easy.
Exactly.
You remember Larry Bird missed that very same shot when Magic Johnson hit the baby hook. Larry Bird missed that very shot, Skip Bayless.
And it was
please.
contested.
Yeah, and he made about 100 of them.
You see what he did there?
Yeah,
No, come on.
He missed one shot in a regular
He
season
airballed
game.
it. Okay,
So
it's
it was
the shot.
a heave.
Draw iron. It
That was
wasn't
the
a
same
heave.
shot.
It was a hoist.
That was the same shot that
Oh,
Larry
please.
Bird missed after Magic Johnson hit the baby hook. That's the exact same shot.
You ever see I'm talking about Michael Jordan. You ever see him airball a shot like
So he
that?
made
'Cause I did.
he made every shot at the end of the
I've seen
game.
Steph Clay shoot air balls.
Not like that. Not
Yeah,
when
yeah,
not
like
with the game on the
contested
line.
He's
He's 7 feet tall.
Jumper
It
in the
wasn't.
corner.
He can't be contested.
So now we're grading air balls. We're grading
Come
air
on.
ball with a contested. Did it go? Skip, you need to stop. And Joy, I want Joy to stop this foolishness over here.
Yeah, you need to join in and shoot that stuff down.
Listen, the face that both of you guys just made when you said that, I can't have that
He
on
called
television.
Kevin
right?
Durant a
This
role
face was
player.
amazing.
Complimentary.
That's the same
I said
thing.
extremely talented, complimentary player. That's what he
That
is.
ain't no compliment.
This is
he
an
is.
all-time. This is one of the greatest. This is probably one of the greatest 10. Not probably one of the greatest 10 scorers of all time. Scores.
I'm talking about taking
and he's
over
a great
games.
defender now.
The Panthers are on the road against the Seahawks Sunday night. This is their first matchup since Carolina eliminated Seattle in the playoffs last year. After that game, Cam Newton threw a Seahawks 12th man flag. Earlier this week, Richard Sherman was asked about Cam's struggles and said, quote, "I guess karma gets you." Cam reacted yesterday. Let's take a listen.
Where was the flag at?
Seattle at the playoff game.
Was it at our house?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But it's irrelevant what he says right now. I have a lot of respect for Richard, and I don't think that has nothing to do with karma, that another opposing team's flag was in my stadium. Simple.
Shannon, whose side are you on, Sherman's or Cam's?
Dumb that I'm really having to choose a side, but I'm absolutely 1,000% on Cam's side. And it seems to me that players in this league are willing to take shots at Cam, both literally and figuratively. It doesn't seem that he gets the respect of an MVP quarterback in the National Football League. And there was a play that happened to another Super Bowl winning quarterback, and I know Cam hasn't won a Super Bowl, another MVP quarterback. And I've always said this, if a quarterback leaves the pocket, I want you to take your best, cleanest, legal shot to split his dome. And if we can get this footage rolling right here, because this is a golden opportunity. Look at this. This is Tom Brady. Tom Brady is in a blocking position. Jet defenders are running out of the way not to hit him. The one chance you get to unload on Tom Brady, and they can't throw a flag because he's a blocker. He's not a quarterback at this point. Had that been Cam, they'd have had to come scrape him up off the field. See, that's what I'm talking about. The cheap shots, karma. So let me know. I think Richard Sherman is full of bull jive, because this is what karma is. When you beat Tom Brady in Seattle in 2012, and you walk to the middle of the field and say, "You mad, bro?" And then 2 years later, you got to extend your hand and shake his hand. Oh, man, you got us. That's karma. What Cam did is not karma. First of all, that's Cam's house. Who that's watching this show, who in this audience would say, you know what, a friend or a family member come up to your house and hang pictures on the wall? In what lifetime? How good a friend? I don't care. In Mile High, Kansas City fans, Raider fans, nobody fan is hanging a banner and let me see it. I'm going to snatch it down just as quick and step on it. That's Carolina. So what do you think will happen if Panther fans were to hang banners in Seattle? They're going to leave it hanging? I know they passed that new law up in Seattle, and your boy Ezekiel Elliott had, he was curious about the dispensaries. He didn't know what they did up in there, so he went in there and was looking around like, hey, maybe Richard passed by one of them. But this is so dumb to say because Cam's team is struggling, Cam is struggling, this is karma for taking down a flag. This is one of the most asinine responses. I can't even believe Richard Sherman would say something like this. This is utterly ridiculous.
Joy, did you see what he just did there? He took a gratuitous shot at Ezekiel Elliott.
No, I didn't, Skip.
I liked everything you said till you got to that, and then we went left turn, dispensary.
All I said is that maybe Richard, there's a dispensary up there. They got a lot of those. And
I got it.
Ezekiel, he was curious. He's 21.
He was.
You've never been to a place like that.
Ezekiel's 11-1 now, just for the record. Wait, yeah, 11-1. Thank you. All right, I'm going to get serious.
Did you see what Joy did?
No.
She going to talk about.
I didn't know such
Did she do that?
I didn't know such thing.
You know what? I'm about to refer to that, actually. I'm glad you did that. That prompts
it's
me.
Christmas, you're going to have to get me a new computer.
Yeah.
All right?
Way to go.
Gentle with the machinery. I know you don't know how to use this, but it's not like the old days. You don't hit it and it starts working.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Skip.
Honestly, I'm not on either side here. And I do respect everything you just said about Cam Newton. Now, let me take a quick left turn before I proceed on the Brady video that you called for. How many plays in Brady's career, other than quarterback sneaks, have been called quarterback runs? Maybe none?
Yeah.
I mean, has there ever been a naked boot that he ran? I don't know.
No.
I doubt it, right?
Probably not, no.
Okay, so Cam obviously is known for his running as well as his throwing, and has often led all quarterbacks in rushing. He's probably led some running backs in rushing, right?
Yes.
And Cam is known as a high collision player who will occasionally run over a linebacker. So by reputation, obviously, if Cam is leading interference for some weird reverse, Cam's probably looking to hit somebody, right? Brady was looking to get out of the way, and obviously Tom Brady has 4 Super Bowl rings and Cam has none, so just on legacy, reputation, they're just going to ease up on Brady. Nobody's going to try to knock Tom Brady over.
Now we take it easy on Tom Brady because he's the GOAT. He got 4 Super Bowls and he's been an MVP.
Just on legacy, you would. I just don't think anybody's looking to headhunt Tom Brady.
Well, therein lies the problem with the New York Jets. You just saw why they are where they are. You got Tom Brady, and you got a chance to unload on him. Let me ask you a question. Would they have unloaded on any other quarterback? You're taught. No. If it's an offensive lineman, you unload on the offensive lineman. If it's a wide receiver.
I don't think they'd unload on Drew Brees. Help me out here.
Out your mind.
I don't think they would have unloaded on even Tony Romo. I don't think they would have.
Skip.
I don't think they would have.
It wasn't the fact they didn't unload on him. They dodged him. They tried not to hit him.
But clearly his body language was, I'm stuck in traffic and I'm just trying to survive here.
What do we say, Skip? You and I, we said this. When you get on that field, what are you?
Okay.
You're 100%.
All right, I got it. Okay. All right. Next question. I'm back to this issue with Cam versus Richard.
Yes.
Okay. You throw a lot of cliches at me from your grandmama?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of these cliches hit home for me with Cam Newton and what happened last year. You reap what you sow, what goes around comes around. I'll even throw this one at you. The last line the Beatles ever sang was, "The love you take is equal to the love you make." Last year, Cam created a lot of love.
Yes.
A lot of love, handing footballs to kids and all of his dabbing and his dancing and his picture taken on the sideline after games and his victory laps, which he was taking when he found the Seattle flag and snatched it down. I agree with you. It's his house. I got it. I'm with you on that. But all that love that he created, as much as it helped fuel his MVP run, and it created a lot of national popularity for Cam Newton, a lot of new popularity, was it not at the expense of opponents? Almost every time, to me, it was at the expense of opponents. He created a lot of love, but he also created a whole lot of antagonism on the part of opponents. He inspired a lot of opponents, and now to Joy's doing this, I'm going to throw young Zeke into this mix right here because he's also going to have to be careful as he keeps doing this. What did you see last night? Every time Minnesota made a big play, they're doing it back to him, right? We've been seeing it now for 3 weeks. The opponents keep doing it back to him.
Yep.
At least Zeke is not doing it when he scores touchdowns. When he scores, he doesn't celebrate.
Right.
It's always for the
First
8-yard
down.
run. He gets the first down. He does this and he does this, okay? But he's going to have to be careful at some point because it's going to, what goes around is going to come back around. He's going to inspire the opponents to play higher and harder against him. Cam did it all last year. So I think Richard Sherman, making a flippant comment, I think he's basically saying, you reap what you sow. Maybe it's not karma, I don't know what it is, but Cam was taking a victory lap at the end of a game in which they broke out to a 31-0 lead with 6:26 left in the second quarter of that first playoff, that first round or divisional playoff game, right?
Yep.
And what happened in the second half? Seattle won the second half 24-0, and it got crazy at the end, right?
Yep.
31-24 is the final score. They move on to Arizona the next round, and Cam's doing his victory lap. And again, I got no issue. I'm with you. He should have snatched that flag.
Yes.
And it's just disrespectful. What would that say? Okay, I don't even want to talk about it because that's just silly to me.
Yes.
But in this case, he was taking the victory lap, and the Seattle Seahawks are taking notice, right? You know this. I mean, it's all now as Cam has struggled this year, everybody's taking shots at him. Well, he inspired a lot of those shots. Some of them are cheap shots on the field. Some of them you could call it, maybe this is a low
Literally
blow.
and figuratively.
Yeah, right. Okay, I got it. But Cam planted these seeds last year, so he's going to have to live with what he's now reaping what he sowed, right?
First of all, Cam just didn't start handing out footballs in the 15-1 season. He's always done that.
I got it.
And you talk. What was the line of the Beatles? If you inspire love,
No, love you take
The love you-
is equal to the love you make. So if you make love around with people, not literally, but you know what I mean, just figurative love, that it's how you're going to be treated in the end of your life. That you can create love and it will come back to you. And Cam created a lot of love, but he was doing it at the expense of the opposition because they didn't like it.
I love it. I love it. See, what I do is like I dig a hole in the ground, and since we don't have leaves, I use paper because I want to have Skip walk on the paper like it's sturdy, and he falls into the trap. If Cam inspired this kind of disappointment, the love that Skip used, but the disappointment of going 15-1, what should Tom Brady have done over his 17 years, going to 5 Super Bowls, winning 2 MVPs? Wouldn't you think they would be more disgusted with Tom Brady than Cam Newton?
That who would be more disgusted?
The defense, the love that you said, the love that Cam's been taking.
Wait, did Tom Brady dab after he scored touchdowns?
Tom Brady has taken love over 17 years, 5 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs. And he's doing this. Oh, the Psycho Tom, you call him Psycho Tom, when he's doing this right here.
He's doing it at the expense of the opponents?
Oh, so why is he doing that?
He's just celebrating with his teammates.
Oh, so dabbing ain't celebrating.
It is.
With his team.
But the defense feels like it's rubbing your nose in it, which is why those Tennessee Titans, timeout, the Titans wanted to come after him. Remember when he did the extended dance in the back of the end zone? After a rub-it-in touchdown, and a bunch of those DBs wanted a piece of Cam Newton after that game. Remember that?
So you remember when Tom Brady hops over from the one, or he slides in from the one, and he gets the football, and he spikes it real hard. What is he doing?
Well, who doesn't spike footballs after they score?
See,
everybody does.
You see what you're doing?
I don't see what I'm doing. I don't see what you're doing.
You're excusing Tom Brady's behavior, but you're criticizing Cam for dabbing because he's celebrating. He's excited. This is for his team. His teammates are excited.
Does Tom Brady have extended end zone celebrations?
What difference does it make? I'm in the end zone.
Does he gather his team for pictures after wins on the sideline? No.
If you don't like me getting in the end zone, you're welcome to keep me out.
I got it. But you can continue to celebrate extended celebrations, but you better be ready because people are going to play harder and rub it back in your face when they beat you the next year.
Wouldn't you think people...
Wait, are you telling me that Cam should be more respected than Tom Brady?
No, see,
is that what you're saying?
Now you changed the narrative. You said the love you make, the love you take. All I'm saying, you would think people would want to take more love from Tom Brady over his 17-year career after the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl wins, he has 4 of them. After the MVPs, he has 2 of them. You would think You would want to take more love from Tom Brady, who's just dominated the National Football League since he's become a starter. But Paul Cam Newton goes 15-1, and he's dabbing on folks. And he's on folks. But Tom Brady throwing touchdown pass and winning the Super Bowl, hey, that's all good.
You don't think that there aren't people who dislike Tom Brady?
They're jealous of Tom Brady.
All I'm saying is that you don't see them take the shots, both literally and figuratively, that they take at Cam Newton. That's all I'm saying.
Who's more respected by players around the league, Tom Brady or Cam Newton?
Well, Tom.
Okay. That's what happened. That's why no one went after him. He didn't get headhunted on that play.
You don't think I respected Bruce Smith or Deion Sanders or Reggie White? And rest his soul. We're in the Super Bowl. On every play away, I cut with Reggie. And he's like, you gonna do this all game? I was like, yep. I have the utmost respect for him. I had the utmost respect
but he's
for
a defensive end. It's just different.
How's it different? Skip,
He's not a quarterback.
Skip. Oh, see what he did? Walked into another. So now we're supposed to treat the quarterbacks differently. We're supposed to go easy on the quarterback.
It's a quarterback's game. You know it, and I know it. You have to protect him.
But I don't have a problem when you're in the pocket. He was not in the pocket. He's not a quarterback. When you're running out there trying to block, I'm looking at you as a blocker. I'm not looking at you as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. How many blocks have you ever seen Tom Brady throw in his career?
It doesn't matter. That was that one opportunity. That's all I'm saying, Skip. You know it, Skip.
There's some unwritten rules.
There ain't no unwritten rules. I ain't never heard it. I ain't never heard it. I know all the unwritten rules. I know the written and unwritten rules, etiquette of the locker room.
I will bet you, we can ask him next time he's in, but I'll bet you if Ray Lewis had a clear shot at Tom Brady in that same situation, he would not have taken it.
I bet you a doorknob. I bet you a golden doorknob to a bucket of cow manure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put up the golden doorknob. I'll let you get 10 buckets of cow manure. I bet you Ray Lewis.
I don't want 10 buckets of cow manure.
No. I'm going to put up the golden doorknob. I want you to, because I know what Ray Lewis would have done.
We'll ask him. I don't think he would have.
I bet 6 months' salary, Ray Lewis would have split his dome.
Don't do that.
I will bet 6 months.
Because you might lose it.
Look here. I don't know a whole lot of guys. I know that guy that come on here. I know that guy.
That's a lot of money, I think.
I bet 6 months.
This is live.
Let me tell you what he's gonna say.
You can't text him and tell him what to say.
No, I'm not gonna. You know what he's gonna say? You know what he's gonna say when you ask him that next time he's here? You gonna say, your good friend that's sitting across from me saying that had that been Tom Brady, you would have taken a shot. You know what he's gonna say? Shay, you already know.
You know why? Because you would have already texted me and said,
I'm not gonna text
you.
Ray, you gotta have my back.
I went a little too crazy.
Look here. I know 5'2". Because guys live for the opportunity to get a clean, legal shot on a quarterback.
Well, maybe they know if they hit Tom Brady, they're going to get a flag, so that's why.
Ask Brucey, ask any defender that take quarterbacks down for a living. Ask them what they would have done.
No mercy. This is the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast, where we're delivering you an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the biggest topics of the day's show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, like us on Facebook at Undisputed on FS1, follow on Twitter at Undisputed, and catch us at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, Monday through Friday on FS1. You can find us on channel 219 on DirecTV, 150 on Dish. Thanks for listening. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back on Monday when we're joined by former cornerback Antonio Cromartie. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you when we're back with more debates next week.
Fox Sports, one of one.